Hey people, welcome to the channel, and this is going to be the top 5 carry knife recommendation video. Now, a few things to explain before I go on. No, if your knife is not here, it does not mean it's a bad knife. I could easily show you 20 knives more and they would all be excellent choices. This is just limiting to something that is doable for a YouTube video. I will also show you alternatives to most of these things, so bear with me. Another thing, I've been doing this for a very long time. This is over 30 years of experience carrying knives, using different knives. This is not just something I just came up with right now. Another thing, I will leave links there below. These are going to be links in Amazon. It does not change your price one bit. It is from the referral program, which does help out the channel, which I hugely appreciate. Sometimes I don't find the exact model. I'll leave, in that case, the closest thing to it, but keep that in mind if you want to purchase something based on my recommendations. One last thing, none of these work if you don't have the knowledge and the skill and the mindset of a survivalist, of a preparedness, a person that just thinks a little bit different from other people outside the box. For that, you have the channel with a lot of information, and every one of my videos I recommend my books, Street Survival Skills and Surviving the Economic Collapse. Especially in Street Survival Skills, there is a ton of information about EDC, knives, whatever you want to carry, the mentality, and a lot more. I really recommend my books. Not only is it what I do, not only is this my profession, it's a passion that I have for this. This is what I do all day long. My wife says, you drive me nuts sometimes. And I say, yeah, I know. This is who you married. 25 years later, still super happy. But anyway, what I'm going at here is, it's not something I just came up with. It is many, many years of experience. Having said all of that, let's get into this. Folks, the knife by far that I've carried the most over the years has been one kind of cold steel or another, mostly Voyager series. I just checked out, they're still on sale. They still make these. Cold steel, I was when cold steel got started, man. I have some of the earlier versions of the cold steels. And I've carried a number of this. Oh, one more thing. If you see that I'm showing you a knife that is brand new, and dude, you never even use that thing. That is very smart of you. Very clever observation, sweetheart. Let me explain. I have so many knives that there's no chance in hell that I can use all of them. Either I have used something that is basically the exact same thing, or something so similar that I know what I'm talking about nonetheless. For example, Victorinox Soldier, I actually carry and use, especially when outdoors and stuff like that, many, many times for quite some time, years and years. This is not it, but this is close enough that I can tell you, yes, having used a Soldier, I know what I'm talking about when I say that this is a great knife, all right? Just explaining that sort of thing. But over the years, cold steel has been my go-to knife brand. Why? Well, quality, interesting designs, functional designs. I think that if you're looking, trying to give you a proper answer here, if you're looking for a folding knife that is very strong, that is well made, that is nice enough steel, that is still within a price range mostly affordable for most people, you will be very hard pressed finding something better than the Voyager. Oh, I have this other knife that is made of magic elf steel. Yeah, I have my magical elf steel knives as well. I'm just telling you that for the price, for the design, for how strong it is, for how functional it is, you're going to be very hard-pressed finding something better than this. The grip is maybe one of the most comfortable, best designed grips in the industry. This is tremendously comfortable. It is genius the way in which they managed to make a grip this comfortable. This was not always the case. Voyager used to have a different grip, but this is a progression over the years. Still the one they're making right now. You have a typical clip-point blade. It's not too big, it is not too small. Over the years, as I said, I've used a number of them. One of the knives I used the most in my life, carry the most, not used, carry the most, was this one here. You see this wear? This is a lot of years carrying this thing because it's intended for, well, not exactly cutting your veggies. It is more of a defensive sort of knife, right? So I would have maybe a multi-tool. Well, not maybe. Certainly I would have a multi-tool and a folder. And this is something that I keep very sharp for special occasions, and this is what I end up using. Not this one in particular, but some kind of multi-tool. Again, 30 years doing this crap, guys. That does not happen by accident, okay? And I evolved from this to a bigger one, a freaking banana of a Vaquero, and then I ended up carrying this one, Vaquero Grande, I think it's called. And over the years, made in Japan, made in Taiwan, made in wherever, but I can tell you that the Voyager series from Cold Steel is one of the best options you have still. The company has changed hands. Lynn Thompson is no longer owner of Cold Steel, and maybe some people will criticize the quality and whatnot. I just saw that they still make this one, and I think it's a great option. Now, the knife that I currently carry the most is the CRKT, Columbia River Knives and Tools, if I remember correctly, an M16. Again, M16 different models. This is a law enforcement model, clip points, serrated. No, it's nothing special, but it is a good brand. If you're looking for a good knife, look at CRKT. And they have some slim profile. I mean, this one is law enforcement model, so it has this flipper, which is very convenient for opening very, very quickly. That flipper becomes like your guard there. It also works as a seatbelt cutter when not deployed. So you can break a glass, cut a seatbelt, bring out the blade, and I think that's pretty complete. I think that's very nice. Maybe a little bit on the larger side. I've never had a problem with larger things, so I'm happy enough with that. But if you want, the father of this knife is actually this tiny guy here, the M16. M16 is maybe one of the favorite ones for law enforcement. Is military, Cold Steel. In those, the exchange that you guys have in military bases, the exchange where the guys go and, I'm going to get myself a cool knife for when I'm deployed or when, all of that sort of stuff. Cold Steel sells a lot. CRKT sells a lot. Spyderco sells a lot. All of these are fairly popular, and I understand why. It is lightweight. It is pretty strong as well. It has this liner lock mechanism, but at the same time, you see that little bar there that moves? That actually locks the liner lock itself. So it locks the lock into place, making it pretty strong. It's not going to be as strong as a triad lock. The triad lock is king of the hill in terms of one of the strongest locking mechanisms there is. Something as simple as just adding a pin makes wonders for how strong that mechanism becomes. But I've never had a problem with any of these knives. If not, I wouldn't even be recommending them. But CRKT, definitely a great way to go. And the M16 model, more of a stabby blade here. That's more of a utility sort of blade. Any of these could be useful for a number of things, but these are the things I do like. Spyderco Endura. Now, this is the police model that came back in the day. I don't even want to tell you how old this thing is. It has no wear whatsoever. No, because I'm not using it, because I'm not an idiot, and I quickly identify this. So it's super expensive now. All right, I better not use it. So you end up using other things. The Endura 4 is the one I could not find. I have one somewhere. That one I have actually used a bit, not a whole lot, but I've carried the Endura a lot. It's a great knife for carrying. These Enduras are lightweight. Well, not this one. The plastic one, very lightweight, strong blade. And some people, even soldiers that want to go with a very light knife, they usually will go with the Endura. Well, not Endura. This is the Delica. A lot of guys, I remember a couple magazine, like gun writers from Guns and Ammo, that would say, I just carry an Endura. Or even some guys, some soldiers, some dudes in forums that would show their knives when deployed and whatnot. Many of those would have a Delica. Maybe not in purple. This is my wife's knives, which she rarely ever takes these days, but at times she does. So yeah. Delica, it's a fine blade. If you want a tiny blade, if you want a minimalistic blade, very small, still capable of, doing quite a bit of harm, I would recommend the saber grind instead of the flat grind, which is maybe for this size of our knife. Delica is a great way to go. Another one from Spyderco that I really like is the Resilience. Now, the Resilience is a big brother of the Tenacious. The Tenacious for many years was a cheap, not cheap, an affordable, very well made Spyderco knife. I love that thing. I think I still have a Tenacious somewhere. I had a Resilience. This is the Resilience. I think it's the Resilience. Anyways, a big brother of the Tenacious. I had that knife. I used that knife. I carried that knife. And I ended up giving away that knife to someone that, probably needed a knife even more than I did, especially at that time in his life, and probably could not even afford it. But there you go, dude. Have a great life. And yeah, super happy with that, of course. Now be generous, don't be an asshole, especially if you can't afford, how many knives do you need? How many knives do you have? Do you know someone that's a good guy and could probably use it and doesn't have the money right now to buy one? Yeah, oh, I bought mine, so you go, well, do you like when people do cool things, nice things for you? You can do that too. The feeling you have is actually even better than just keeping it and having it gather dust. So just something to think about. Great knife. I liked it so much I ended up buying another one. A lot of use? No. This is really like in a box these days. I don't think I carried this. This one in particular, but the exact same thing a few years back, yes I did. Let's move on. In terms of Victorinox, I got a lot of shit in my Spanish channel for saying that I do not recommend a Victorinox. Now, I ask people to be patient. People rarely are, but if they had been, they would have learned that the Victorinox was actually my first EDC knife. This is certainly my first EDC knife. This is the first knife I actually kept in a pocket like daily for quite a bit. This was not mine, it was found. It was found in Laguna de Chascomús in Buenos Aires in Argentina many, many years ago. Not by me, but my brother, who probably is watching this. So yeah, the thing is this, my brother found this, probably some fisherman that forgot it and just, we found it on the side of the lake. My brother found it, he pocketed it, and there was no one around, we didn't steal anything. It was just a Victorinox just sitting there on the side of the lake, So great, Victorinox for a kid, wonderful. But my brother is not as crazy as I am when it comes to knives. So he took the knife home, maybe played with it a little bit and then forgot about it. I was still like very, very young, probably under 10 years old maybe. Yeah, I think it was around that time. But I saw it in a drawer. I saw it still in that drawer. No one, and I repurposed that knife for myself, and I carried it for many years, many years, taking this to school, using it for opening stuff and whatnot. Even teachers. Oh, could you lend me the knife because I need to open something or cut something? Yeah, sure. Hand it back to you. Different times, but it has been used a lot, and as you can see by this blade, it has been used. Look at that shape. This has been used a lot. It has been poorly sharpened by a child back in the day, then a little bit better, but always taken care of. The scales are not original. They broke decades ago, so I replaced those, which is one of the cool things. But the thing is that with a Victorinox, you don't have a one-hand opening mechanism. You have to do this thing. It doesn't lock into place. It's not particularly huge or strong, the blade, which is fine, but mostly lack of clip. Lack of single hand opening and lack of lock. Those are the three things that I think just, no, I would not recommend it. If I want to go with Victorinox, I would go with something like this. Again, the Soldier is something that I did carry a lot. This is not the Soldier, this is the Locksmith, which is no longer in production. Basically a Soldier, but better, the way I see it, because it has a straight edge, no serrations here, which, I get why they put serrations in a military knife, but I prefer non-serrated blades in general. But you just say you carry this. Yeah, but again, keep in mind I have another knife with me, and I see this more of a utility thing than anything else, Not only do you have that, you have the saw and whatnot, but you also have the added file. The file is the difference, besides the color and the blade, the file is the difference between the Soldier and the Locksmith, which is no longer in production. By the way, Victorinox, you should do it again. You should put it back in production. Locksmith is a great knife. Now, no clip, and you can add a clip somewhere, but you have the locking mechanism. You have the one-hand open system, and adding a little bit of a little clip here for hanging on the inside of your pocket. That could fix it as well. That would be another alternative. Finally, the one thing that I recommend the most is having a proper actual multi-tool, all right? And in my case, this is the one I'm currently carrying. For many years, it was the titanium version of this same knife. Now it's this one, Charge Plus. Why? And if I had to carry just one knife, or if I could recommend you guys just one knife, it would be a multi-tool. Just carry a damn multi-tool. It is the most useful knife you can have. No, but I'm talking about specifically folders. I get it, but if you're gonna carry something make the extra little bit of effort and go with something a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger, and have a bunch of tools at your disposal. This is maybe the best tool you can have in your pocket, bar none. Now, if you want a cheaper version of that, there are alternatives these days because the patent has expired, and something like this with a clip would be a great option too. Again, I'll leave links below in case you're interested. But seriously, this is the most useful tool you can carry, and it is not only a blade as well, which will do most things. You have a second blade, and you have a ton of tools in this thing. Guys, that's going to be all for now. Subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, share with others, links below for whatever you're interested in. Have a great day.